Hi everyone, Fresh Blooming Clothing here. My name is Melissa and I've been selling on eBay for a long time. And one of my commenters suggested I do a video on how I store my eBay inventory, which I thought was a really good idea. So most people store their inventory a few ways. One would be the bin system, which I store my inventory in. This was my eBay storage back in 2011 when we lived in Pennsylvania and had a basement. And two would be hanging up, which I have done before. I'm freaking out how I found these old photos on PhotoBucket. They're from when I had a store in Pennsylvania. Currently, we live in a small villa, so we don't have the space to keep racks of clothing just set out. So I find the bin system works beautifully for this. And I have about 400 items on, but I'm gonna say about 30% or so are just small items. So you're looking at probably about 250 items behind me. So I thought I would go through and show you how I store my eBay inventory. I sell mostly clothing, but some hard goods. And I have all of my bins labeled to make it easy to find. Now, I really like the color aqua and teal, as you can see. But my mom, Lavender Clothesline, who I'll link below, had a really good idea recently for clear bins. It's a lot easier to find items. I just like the aesthetic of having all the same color, and it's more pleasant on my eyes, but clear bins really do make the most sense. So I'm going to take you over and show you some of the bins. Okay, so here are some of my bins, and you can see they are all labeled. These labels mostly stay, but for instance, LuLaRoe I haven't had for a long time, so that might have been something else at one point. So I'll scroll through. I do have bins unlisted and listed and needs bagged, and I'll explain to those soon. Linens and household. Tops. I had enough tops to separate them into a few different bins. Skirts. Now for some reason I have medium skirts up here. And going up, swimsuits, accessories, unlisted, and dresses. Right now I have nothing in unlisted. The things I have unlisted are hanging up since I just washed them, and that's everything I have unlisted right now. I also put foam wrap kind of on this pole, and I have bubble wrap, which I do need to order more of, kind of in this corner and just pulling through. So when I need bubble wrap, I can just pull it right through. I'm going to step back and show you the whole setup if I can. This room is an extra room we have in our house. It used to be an outdoor area, and one of the previous owners thankfully put air conditioning and put siding on, I guess, and some kind of window system, so this is all indoors now. This room also has two purposes. One is my eBay stuff, and the second is my husband's workout area. Now recently he joined a gym, so he has gotten rid of a lot of that stuff, and he might downsize a little bit more, but for right now it's there. I have my dress form and my steamer, which I love, and then I have a rack up there to hang the items that have already dried from washing and need steamed. Now let's take a tour of one of the bins. I'm going to bring down the tops bin. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Bring down the tops bin and open it up. Now inside any one of the bins is hopefully what it says on the outside. So these are all extra small and small tops, and they should be labeled with what they are. So that one's a vintage sweater. Then we have an H&M size 2 top. Soma sweater. Melissa McCarthy top. So anytime something sells in the top category, it's in this bin, which would be the extra small, the medium bin, or the large and up bin. Now, obviously this bin isn't full, but some of my bins do get full, And then I kind of rearrange the categories. So the large, extra large category might split if I get too many. So when I sell something, all I have to do is pull it out of here. So let's say the St. John jacket sold. I would put it off to the side, put the top back on, and if I had no more in this category, that bin then goes back up to the shelf. Let's say I had something other than clothing sell. So that would probably be in this bin, or right now I have an odd bin, which I just had to relabel, like medical supplies, USPS costumes, shoes, and bags. So let's say I sold, I don't even know what's in this. Let's open it, take a look. Ah, there's baby dolls, there's books, these are ornaments. So I would really have to kind of search a little harder through this because this stuff mostly hasn't been wrapped up yet. So let's say Cliff Bars sold, or toner sold, or I think these are stickers down here. The stickers sold. I would have to then put those in a plastic bag since I ship all of my items in plastic bags. I pulled all my items for that day. It's usually the night for the next morning, or sometimes in the morning if I'm lazy. I come to this closet, and my husband shares this closet with me as well. He keeps different tools and parts and all sorts of things. He's really well organized, thankfully. And then down here are most of my packing supplies that I don't use regularly. And there's my mannequin head. But what I do keep in here is just this Trader Joe's bag with some of the items I use most with packing. So there's a few poly mailers, maybe a box or two, some padded mailers, and down at the bottom there's probably some kind of ribbon. Yep, ribbon. So all I have to do rather than pull everything packing wise is I would just take this to the computer. And that just saves me a step because I have my packing materials in a couple different places, including under the bed and this area here. This just saves me a little bit of time from pulling things from different areas. Now, I really don't like a very cluttered house. It's just my husband and myself. We don't have pets, unfortunately, or children. So our house can be a little bit more clutter-free than most people, and I do realize that. So because we live in a small place, this back here is that lanai area I was talking about. So what we've done is we've put curtains across. So usually after I'm finished in this room, I just pull the curtain across, and then anybody coming in from the front door can't really see what's in there. It just makes it a little bit more cohesive with our colors and schemes and doesn't look crazy. There's our living room. Back through. I do use this table often to lay out small items so I can photograph on a white background, and we have some really good natural light coming in through these windows. And I use this room a whole bunch, and that'll be a different video, to photograph. This room has great natural light. So sometimes I put things on this wall and hide that. And sometimes you can see the hook. I put my hanging mannequin here and my mannequin here. And then I have like flat laid boards that I kind of roll out, vinyl backgrounds. So once I have everything pulled for the day, I come and sit down at my computer. I do have a Dymo shipping label machine, which I love. And if you're shipping a lot on eBay, this is a great machine for under 60 bucks. I also have a regular printer, which is a laser printer, so thankfully it doesn't take ink, it takes toner. It's a little bit cheaper that way. My husband uses this for invoices, and occasionally, if I sell internationally, I use this since international labels can't be printed on a Dymo. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how I store my items. Like I said, I have about 250 clothing items right now. I have had a lot more. I've had up to about 1,200, and in this space that wouldn't work. So what I do is I go through my eBay inventory fairly regularly, and I do pull things that are just sitting even when I've lowered them, and I redonate them, send them to ThredUp. We have a yard sale coming up that I might put some things out and just clear for new inventory. Now, if you have a basement or an extra room you're not using, you could really store things in bins. My mom has over 100 bins, which is amazing. She has 2,000 items in bins. You have shelving, stuff like that. That really helps. So hopefully that helps you a little bit if you don't have a storage system for your eBay or you're just started on eBay. I would love to know what other people are doing, just because then it helps out more people. If you don't have the space, you might put things underneath your bed or just get a really tall bin to put things in. I like storing mine in the plastic bags, and I'll link those below. That way they're easy to ship, and in the shipping process, if a mail carrier smokes or there's scents in the car, it doesn't pick any of that up. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to leave comments, and my next video will hopefully be shipping. So if you have any ideas, leave them down below. Thanks so much.